We are going to go ahead and open up Photopea. So you can click the link for this, or you can start to type it in, so photopea.com. And what I would do when I get to Photopea is I would make sure that I log in using an account. So you're going to click this button here and create an account if you don't already have one. Make sure that you complete the terms of service. We're just going to do the free method, or the free version, I should say. So make sure that you do that, and then when you are done, go ahead and hit the X button. And what I want you to do is to open up the images that you saved in your Google folder. So your images should be set in a folder ready for you to use. They could be in a download folder on your Chromebook, or they could be in the Google Drive, but make sure that you're not just trying to use them from a Google Doc or from a Google Slides. They have to be whole. They can't be part of a presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and open from computer. I have a Mac, so I'm going to open it from my folder here. And let me get a picture of my son. I'm not quite sure why these red frames are around here. The first time I used this, it did not appear, and now it does, and I have no idea. Maybe if I just click something like this, I don't know if that does anything. No, it didn't. I'm going to go ahead and leave that alone. So you might notice that I accidentally took these photos in color. So if you did the same and you took your pictures in color, we can still fix it. So what I would like you to do is go to Image Adjustments, and then you're going to go to Black and White, and you're going to see all these sliders, and you don't have to mess with any of them. Just hit OK, and that's going to get rid of all of your color. So after that, you're going to hit the crop button over here. So these two L's that create a square. You're going to click the crop tool. And what you're going to do is up in the selection panel, you're going to go to fixed ratio, and it's going to create a 1-to-1 ratio. What we're going to do is we're going to use the ratio of the board. So the board that we have, the mixed media board, is 15 by 20. And if I do a 15 by 20, it is going to select a portion for me. Now, you can adjust this. You don't have to do it exactly how you see it. You could also make it into a horizontal by putting 20 by 15 in, and it will make it into a landscape or a horizontal image. Now, for me, I really want to talk about how obsessed he is with his technology. And so what I'm going to do is turn this back into a vertical or a portrait mode image. So if you have a large file, you might find that when you hit that 15 to 20, that your cropping area goes off the page. This happened when I was working from a large file for another class. If that's the case, one of the things you can do is go to the view at the top, and then go to zoom out, and what that's going to do is make this image smaller. And then you can click on the corner, and you can move this frame around so that you can see it, and that's going to help you select a portion. Okay, so that's for if those borders are out and you can't see them in your viewable space. Mine, I actually could. So let me go ahead and make this image a little bit bigger so I can see it again. Okay, so when I am cropping, I really want to think about moving his head out of the center, right? I want to think about how much I need to include to get my message out. And I really want to kind of focus on getting his head in like the top third here, and then making sure that I get his hand as well. So I'm going to zoom in there. And if I just click the button and hold and move my finger around, I can wiggle this around and adjust it until I'm happy. Okay. And when I like my results, I can either hit this check button or I can hit enter, and that will keep it so that it is the size of the paper. So this is the 15 by 20 that we have on our board. So that might be where you are almost done with the image. If you look at your picture and you're like, you know what, I really think that this area is really bright, but there's not enough light maybe in his face, or his hand kind of looks flat, you can adjust it where you can get more highlight, more midtone, and more shadow. So what I'm going to do is go to Image. I'm going to be patient because sometimes this doesn't work so great because it's online. I'm going to go to Levels, so Adjustments, Levels. And if I move, I click and hold and move this out of the way. If I move this white box, it's going to give me more highlight. So notice as I move that over, his face gets more and more white. Now, obviously, you get to a point where it's just too much. So I'm going to reset it. Okay. If I move the gray, it's going to give it so that you can see a lot more details, but I might lose some of the black that way. So what I normally do is tweak the black to make the darks a little bit darker, and sometimes I tweak the lights to make the lights a little bit lighter, but I want to have a range from white, many values of gray, right? So looking on his face, how he's got almost white areas from the reflection of the technology. He's got light grays, he's got dark grays. Right? And when I'm happy, I can hit OK. Now, the last thing that you're going to do before you save it and export it is that you're going to go to Image and you're going to go to Image Size. So for image size, we're basically making so that it's printable, but also we don't want to save an enormous file because it won't work with our grid program if we do. So I'm going to go ahead and switch this to inches. And you can see that this is kind of saved the file. So it's about 11 by 14. What I'm going to do is type in 7.5. And it will make it so that it is 7.5 by 10. If you do the math, you can see that this is half the size of the board that we have. So our board is 15 by 20. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And so now I can either print this image so that it's printer size, or I can use it from the computer. So what I'm going to do is to keep it, I'm going to export it as a JPEG. Please make sure that you use JPEG for this. Hit that, and that's going to give you this slider here. For most of yours, I'd like you to save it to the highest quality possible. We might have to adjust this later if we have a really big file, but I think we're okay right now, and we're going to go ahead and hit OK. These numbers for pixels is under 1,000, so I think it's probably fine. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Save. So from here, we're going to go ahead and use another program to apply a grid on top of this, so to make it a little bit easier and faster for us to be able to draw. I'll include that in another video.